It is 8:43 Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards as we come home now on our last segment, and it's very exciting because not only is it our pals from Major League Sox, but I believe Jake has just told me that he is now the proud owner of the Heaven app. Is that correct? On
No, it's not something I wanted to make public. I don't think I'm not sure the new owner of the Haven app ever wants to go public necessarily. But all right, I can confirm it.
Home of the 1 hour Mr. Smith specials, I believe, is the Heaven app. And Tommy joins. How you doing this morning, Tommy?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. And look, the last time we talked to you, Major League Sox was really proud to announce the Major League Heroes Sox, where all profits went directly to and do go to the Canadian Red Cross. And how did that work out? Are we doing okay with that promotion?
It was a great program. We sold lots of socks, raised a lot of money, and we're really proud of what we were able to accomplish. And we think we hope Canadians are loving rocking the heroes on their feet.
Now, have you noticed necessarily, and again, look, ordering things online is just a way of life. I mean, my wife and my son, with Amazon, I think they're here every day. Like, I think even the Amazon guys got to be going, okay, we got to rethink this because we're delivering way too much, way too often. Like they'll look for like a cord, and it was like, oh yeah, hey, the cord for my thing or whatever. I'm like, where did that come from? Like Kansas? How can you make money doing this? And yet, that is the way. It's not brick and mortar. It is online. So I'm just curious. During the pandemic, and now as things have changed a little bit, have you noticed a difference in volume because of it ordering online or because you're online, you really just didn't notice any change at all?
Well, we've always been online as a business, but we've really built it around the brick and mortar, and we've had to really transition and rethink how we're operating in order to stay afloat. I mean, we don't know when we're going to be back in the arenas. We do sell a lot of socks to the NHL teams in the NHL official stores and some of the bigger box retailers who, aren't even back open yet. So we do notice people coming to the website organically, and we just got to make sure that we provide a good service online so that the customers, come back and have a good time.
Now, a lot of businesses, sorry, Dave, will probably implement things that they have learned during this time. Is there anything that you have done differently that you will now implement into your business as a change? Well,
I mean, one of the changes for us is that we've just had to have a bigger online presence when it comes to advertising digitally. It's not something that was taking up our priorities in the past because we were focusing so much on, growing the retail game, getting into the NHL arenas, getting into, Sport Checks or, Pure Hockey Stand in the US. So we're learning and it's good skill to learn for us as people too. So we'll see where it takes us.
Well, based on somebody that has ordered online with you guys, as you guys both know, it's an easy experience. It's an awesome website, majorleaguesocks.com. You can kind of figure exactly where you want to go with alumni players, current players, the BAB Sox, however direction you want to go. But I guess coming up, considering that it is Father's Day, and I'd have to say, I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, socks, ties, and golf shirts were always three of the key Father's Day gifts. And I'm guessing, back in our day, we didn't have cool socks like this. Father's Day promotions coming up at Major League Sox. What do you have to offer? I've cheated a little bit by looking at your website already, like I have before. But what's coming on for a pretty significant day for the dads out there?
Yeah, well, we have very meticulously curated by our team of experts Father's Day packs for different cities. So with Toronto, we've got a really good special, big savings on it's Tavares, Matthews, and Clark. We've got Hank, Zibanejad, and Messier, for example, in New York. So it's a mix of alumni and current players, guys who I think dads, anybody really get a kick up if you're a fan of the team.
Well, I did see a pair of socks, and I just sort of whipping through it here this morning that I do have to order because I didn't realize. I should have realized that he'd be on a pair of socks, but I want to wear them and not say anything. I just want to get out of the car, walking out saying the Doug Gilmore socks, right? I've got to get a pair of the killer socks and just walk around and just see what his reaction will be. Not that he doesn't love it, because I know he does. Because I completely know he does love it. But the likenesses, like the caricatures, are great. You know, just looking, obviously people are very familiar with the Bab socks, which are tremendous. But the actual graphics in doing that. So what's that process? Because the Bab socks, the face is just 100%. It's fantastic, which you could probably choose from a lot of different faces, but that's the one I think people see. So what's that process?
I think we try and find an image that really encapsulates the character of that person. And we've got an artist down in California, and he's a bit of a magician, and we kind of speak to, you know, the qualities that most resonate with the fans. And, you know, he comes back with these unbelievable caricatures. So, you know, we just try and find images that really match their personality.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, they really. Now, based on that, I'm looking in the alumni section, and I received this email probably about 2 days after you guys were on. So I think somebody was kind of listening to some of the archives in our collection, which this interview will be archived as well for everybody listening out there right now. Do you ever get requests? Like, for example, if you wanted maybe not necessarily a star of the past or present, but maybe like, you know, my cousin plays for the Ducks. I'd love for a pair. Do you ever get those kind of things, any kind of requests, and how do you handle that situation?
We've gotten some interesting requests, not specifically for players who are going, but just like, hey, my dad would be great on socks or something like that. And then specifically, we get some really positive emails about stars from the past, and every now and then we get some fired up emails about, you know, why we're a terrible company for not having X player who scored 16 goals in 1974, because that was this person's biggest fan. So they were the biggest fan of that person. So there's been some, you know, I should have cataloged them over the years.
Well, and again, when you look at okay, so let's say, and maybe you got both. If you look at Gretzky, then are there two different versions necessarily? Even though there's more than two you could do, obviously, for Gretzky, but I'm thinking of two off the top of my head that would be the most prominent. How does that work?
Yeah, actually, so we just don't have the socks in inventory right now, but we have Gretzky available in Edmonton, LA, and the Rangers, and we're planning on doing a sort of limited edition St. Louis Blues version. Eventually, maybe we'll only release so many pairs, but we do have Gretzky in three different styles.
Now, as I'm looking, and again, as people are re-entering, and sports teams are, you know, and this is good news for you eventually, probably, but in a hub city, are you going to have a conversation with one of the buildings eventually when it is? Is that something that is on your to-do list, or is that going to be something that, because there won't be fans, there would be not a necessity to maybe be in one of those buildings? Is that something that's even on the radar at all?
I don't think it's really on the radar, just knowing that there's going to be no fans there. But
Yeah.
You know, I think we're just going to continue to try and do our best advertising online and finding creative ways and fun ways to show off the brand. You know, there might be guerrilla opportunities to kind of sell on the street if we can find a way to do it legally, you know, just in high traffic areas. But that's just something that we're exploring right now.
Now that's interesting too, because eventually when there are fans, eventually when you do, and there will be at some point fans going back into the buildings, the conversation you'd have in terms of even shipping with border issues, is that something that you deal with right now?
Our fulfillment sends socks anywhere in the world. It's crazy. Like sometimes they just pick out a random order just to see where it's going, and you know, sometimes it's going to Germany. We had an order from Ireland last week, and you know, it's crazy to think where these people came across our story, and
We've shipped to every continent.
Yeah, we have shipped to every continent, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Absolute madness.
Okay, I have to ask from the Irish cousins. What songs did they order? Who are they looking at?
The Major League Heroes, actually.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, all my family's over there, so I'm sure my dad did his best to send out emails to all his friends and family.
Tommy, whereabouts are your people from over in Ireland? Where are they?
My dad's from Castleblaney in Monaghan.
Uh-huh.
And my mom's side, her dad was from Derry, and her mom was from Carsavine. I've spent a lot of time over there myself.
So a northern man then?
Border. Yes, on my mom's side for sure.
Yeah. What do you say, a lot of you? I'm talking to you. What word is that? Oh, you're saying you. I'm sorry. Well, guys, always a great job. And as I said, we'll throw this out later on today so people can see it. And for Father's Day, as I said, aside from the typical, what was the Bermuda socks, which thank God I never got, but I know my dad probably got pummeled with those when we were a little younger. But this is just terrific. I said the artwork on it is great, and for the work that you guys do, really thrilled for you, and hoping for a lot of people. Obviously, we get back in the buildings, get back in the stadiums, and see you guys flourish because you deserve it. You've worked hard, and I said the entrepreneurs, that's what makes it move, and you two guys are great examples of that. So, both Jake and Tommy, thanks so much for joining us here this morning.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.